So again, when does it apply? It doesn't apply to us, but for when it is written in a contract. And again, a very, very important element of the negotiations. I think we're starting to see, and I know at the University of Florida we've seen that agencies are putting in 800-171 controls, or they're referencing FSMA moderate controls, when clearly that is not anticipated that they are providing us data or we are managing federal systems. So again, a very important point of the negotiations is those of you who may be contract officers or contract negotiators for your institution, these clauses are very clear what the intent is. So we're trying to leverage those as we engage our federal partners. Okay, so again, contracts for where CUI will not be involved should not include these requirements. So we should be limiting this to the receipt of external information coming into our systems. All right. One of the important distinctions that there's a difference between information the government possesses, and then it also references when we are working on or behalf of the government. And there's been some discussion nationally about what on behalf of means, whether or not us performing a research project means that that data is therefore generated on behalf of an agency. So I think this clause here is a very important interpretive clause that as we move forward, the more of us who are aligned with our interpretation, I think the better we'll all be. But on behalf of is certainly, from our perspective and in a lot of the agencies that we have discussed, only when we are processing and storing information. We're not running a payroll system for the government. We're not processing and storing entire data sets. There are certainly federal contracts that do, and I would argue that indeed when you are performing a service, if you are the holder of an entire access of Medicare functionality for a state provider, not just the recipient of Medicare information to analyze for certain research purposes, but actually the processor and manager of Medicaid or Medicare for a state, then indeed you are operating on behalf of. But for the most part, research projects where we are running data, running samples, collecting information, and then providing a report, maybe that's backed up by data, does not meet the definition here of CUI. So I think that's another important element. Okay.